Hi, welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, I'm going to go over a little bit on the new updates on DaVinci Resolve 17.2. I've been using DaVinci Resolve for a while because I really couldn't afford and I didn't like some of the other ones. I mean, I've tried some other freeware, I've tried some stuff that even came with Windows, and it just wasn't really all that great. But with DaVinci Resolve, I started out with the free, bought the speed editor, used it a couple of times, still need to work on that. But I got the full version because it came with the code, and so I actually have DaVinci Resolve Studio 17, which is fantastic. If you're using DaVinci Resolve free, it's going to use more CPU power to process your video, and it doesn't use your graphics card. So if you have an NVIDIA or an AMD or something with, like an Intel CPU that has a built-in graphics chip, I think it's the Quick Sync or something like that. To be perfectly honest with you, it's going to use more CPU power. It's not going to take advantage of those features. The full studio version actually does, because I've seen where video clips that videos I've done throughout the whole year before I got this and the code for the full version, it would take like 20 or 30 minutes to render, say, probably 20 minutes to do a 10-minute clip, probably 30 minutes to do like a 20 or so, depending, as the clips are bigger, it takes a little longer. Once I got that, I reran one of the clips. I think it shrunk it down to like 4 to 6 minutes, and it was like a 20 to 30 minute processing before, which was fantastic. I was like, oh my god, this is so much faster, and it really is, because it takes advantage of the Quadro chipset that's in my laptop. I think it's the M2200 and the P51 that I have here. So if you can afford, and the beauty of it is you pay once, that's it. You don't have to keep giving them a monthly thing like Adobe or Adobe. Their Creative Cloud suite, you have to pay a monthly fee on it. This here, you buy it, it's yours. That's it. You get all the updates, because ever since that, I've been updating this thing like crazy. And it's a really nice feature. But one thing that caught my eye on this, and I'm going to get to that now, is that basically what it shows here is that, and this is what caught my eye because I actually accidentally clicked on an MKV file and it actually imported it into the media clip where it goes. And it shows right here, it says now support for decoding MKV clips, which is great, because now I don't need to have OBS Studio convert the MKV to MP4. I have it set to do it automatically, and now I don't need to do that. The only problem I did have when I was doing last Friday's video is that when I did that, it kind of glitched and it kind of cut the audio out. So I don't know if there's a compatibility issue or if my computer needed to be restarted or anything. I haven't really tried it out since. I will be experimenting with it here soon, and I'll do an update video to this to say if it works or if it has problems. But that was one of the things right there, because that's what I kept sending them every time I would download the latest version, whether I'm reinstalling it or installing it on a different machine. Like I have DaVinci, I had DaVinci, or still do, I have DaVinci Resolve, the free version, installed on my work computer and on my the X1 Yoga that I did a review on. I'll leave a card to that in the video description. But I have them on both of those machines, and those machines, it definitely uses a lot of processing power. It runs okay on the X1 Yoga. Now the P53 that I have for work, it's like the P51. Yeah, it's going to hit the CPU hard when it does it, but it's powerful enough to handle it without a problem. Plus, I think I have, I know I have 16 gigs of RAM in it. But there's also some other things too, like now the live save is now on by default, so you don't have to turn it on. I turned it on a while ago. I think I looked it up, and it's just a setting, but now they have it so that it automatically saves. So no matter what, you don't have to worry about if the thing crashes and you just did all this work and it's now gone. I'm not saying that it may catch between saves if it would crash. I haven't really had DaVinci Resolve crash on my machine, but I know everybody's hardware is different. Nobody's, not everybody's doing it on a laptop. Some people are doing it on full, like, gaming rigs and stuff like that. But that was also a good thing too. Custom naming of individual timeline clips, that's actually pretty good. Accelerated AV1 decodes on supported Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD platforms, which is nice because, again, if you have the full Resolve, because I want to say that's going to be a Resolve thing, because I know it says decodes. I'm not sure if that's tied into the full version or if it works in both versions, because I know it says decoding, but it probably works on both of those. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's the encoding when it's doing the final render. That's when you have to have the full version for it to take advantage of the CPU. Got my wires crossed there for a moment. It's also got some other things to pasting HDR and color. Some of these features I'm not exactly sure because I haven't really played with this a whole lot. I just do basic editing and everything. It's just that it works a lot better for me. I do want to learn Fusion. I do want to learn color correction. I do want to be able to use the speed editor more. I may even move up to their full-size keyboard, although that's a little expensive. It just depends on how my progression is. It's like anything else. I know I have people, including my wife, tell me that my painting has improved to me because I'm my own worst critic. I don't think I've improved. In my opinion, I think I've gotten worse for painting miniature figures, but, that's neither here nor there. But I'm hoping my skills improve. Hopefully I see it too, because, again, we are our own worst critics on things. I can definitely ignore stupid people commenting because I've done that, and I read reviews on hardware, and I've had people, I didn't have people, but I've seen people, correction of myself, put, oh yeah, this sucks, or something like it's one sentence, and it's like, okay, you really didn't describe the problem. You're just basically saying that this is a piece of garbage or a piece of shit or whatever it is, and not actually saying what's wrong. Which, to me, if I'm going to leave a review, I'm going to put what it is. I did a review on the Amcrest web camera. It's good. It has a few little flaws. It's not a bad webcam. Right now I'm using my Logitech C922 Pro. I had to think there for a moment. Because the fact is I want to see, because like I said, I got the new ring light. I'm planning on getting the smaller one so that it fits better in between the monitors, as I've stated in another video. There's all kinds of improved things too. Improved scripting API with the ability to import custom frame sequences. There's a lot of things I'd like to automate. I'd like to be able to automate the recompression using Handbrake with some other things that I do. Would love to have a way to automate that as soon as I move a project from DaVinci Resolve from my laptop, because I have it on the same VM that runs my Plex Media server. I want to see if I can get it to automatically start running the export. That way it'll free this machine up for other things, and this one doesn't have it. I'm trying to improve my workflow. I'm trying to improve a lot of things here. Basically learning PowerShell. Bought a couple of books on Humble Bundle. Not Bumble. Bundle. And like I said, a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense because, like I said, I'm not that heavy of a video editor. I'm more of a basic video editor. So in time, a lot of these features will make sense to me. But for right now, it's doing what I want it to do. It can save me a step instead of waiting for OBS Studio to recompress the video to MP, or change it from MKV to MP4. So I have 2 files now wasting space instead of 1. Now I can go back to 1. But like I said, I'm still going to have it do it because I've got to test OBS Studio first. Because like I said, I had that glitch. Now, like I said, it could have been I just upgraded and it may needed to restart. And that's what I needed to do. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say because, like I said, I'm not exactly sure what the issue was. The other thing I will eventually do is I will eventually, hopefully if RAM prices stay down with everything going up, I want to see about maxing this out to 64 gig. I've already got 32 in it, and I did learn, I think it's in one of the other videos, is that you have to put the larger memory under the keyboard of this thing, and then you could put the old memory underneath, because that's where I put the 8, which will make it easier for me to upgrade to 64 by taking the 2 8s and put 2 16s in, and then it'll max it out, which is what I want it to do. I want to max this memory out, so this way everything will work beautifully. I mean, if I want to play games, which I haven't been a gamer in a while. I'm not saying I haven't dabbled with it a little bit, because I have. I just haven't really had time, with doing this and trying to, again, as you can see, the room's a mess. I need to put that back together and some other stuff. I know we got some, hopefully some conventions will actually turn out really good this year. On the 8th, we went to, and this is a sidetrack for a second, we went to Kings Island, had a great time. Busy as all get out, because it was pass holder preview weekend on the 8th. And man, oh day, there was a lot of people there. I mean, it was wall-to-wall people. There were lines for eating. There was lines for getting drinks. There was lines everywhere. Parking lot, I think, was almost filled. But we still had a good time. We rode about 4 rides, but again, that's because we knew it was going to be busy. We just didn't know it was going to be that busy. But as I digressed, it has here improved decoding performance for 8K H.265 clips on Apple Silicon systems. It doesn't affect me because I use a Windows system. So, but for anybody that runs the Apple Silicon, the M1, that's great that it's got improved performance for that. I'll leave a link in the description to this site, but like I said, my biggest thing was the support for the MKV clips, and I'll show you why. Let me fire up DaVinci Resolve. Sorry, my throat gets a little dry sometimes. And I'll move it over there. And we'll just call it an untitled project, because I'm not going to save it. Okay. And as you can see, as soon as it decides to switch and be done. Okay, you going to make up your mind? Okay, so right now we're on the clip, which is where you would use, or the cut, which that's where you would use the speed editor. So if we go to edit, because this is where I mainly edit everything, and it switched everything over, figures. Let's see if we can do view. Oh, where is that? Turn off. There we go. All right, so I turned off the dual screen, and actually it uses like all 3 sometimes. So here's the clips here, and if I right click, import media, and I go to the working drive, and the recorded is where I have, let me come down here and move me down out of the way here. So basically, I go to my working drive D, which is my old SSD in this thing, because I bought a 1 terabyte SSD for boot up and everything. So I go to that, and as you can see here, this is where I have all my footage when I record from OBS Studio. So we'll scroll down here, and I'm hoping it'll display it. Now see, that one's MP4. What's this one? Oh, this is the current one that I'm recording right now. Okay, so here's the MKV of the one that I did for last Friday. And as you can see, it shows MKV. And if I rest on this one, it shows MP4, because that's what OBS Studio did. Now, in the past, prior to this update, if you click on this and select Open, it wouldn't show up in that clip space because it was an unsupported format. It sees it as a file because of the way Windows is, but DaVinci Resolve didn't handle it. So when I click on this, and again it says MKV video file VLC, click on Open, and I have to change the frame rate. Well, look, it actually shows up there, which is nice, because that's a feature I've been wanting them to do. And every time when I was using the free, and when you had to fill out all the registration information, which to me is, especially if you don't do it through their update, like if you just download the file, it asks you to fill out, you know, your name and blah 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 and all this stuff, and I just kept filling it out saying, you know, support for MKV files, because OBS Studio, if you change it to MP4, it gives you some warning. Let me see if I can go to settings real fast while I'm doing this. And video output is currently active. Please turn off. Yeah, whatever. But it would say something to the fact that if you do it, if there's a crash or something, you can't recover it, or something to that effect. I can't remember what it is, but it would always warn you when you change from MKV to MP4. So I was like, okay, so hopefully they'll do it. Well, apparently enough people complained about it and said, look, this is what we want, and it finally works, thank God. And now I can import it into the timeline. It says MKV there. I can now edit it and everything, which is great. I don't have to do it specifically in the MP4 format anymore, which I love that feature. I've always wanted that, because most other things I do works fine with MKVs. I even recompress video files over to MKV. They start out as huge MKV files, and then I shrink them down for my Plex Media server. And that's why it saves space, and that way I don't have to buy hard drives as fast. So that's basically what I like to do, and it's great that it now has that feature. Plus, like I said, I'm sure there's other features and updates and bug fixes and everything. But the two biggest well, for me, the biggest thing is the support for decoding MKV clips. If it wasn't for that, it would be like, okay, all this stuff. And like I said, you could always turn on the live save by yourself. Now, I don't know if I had that feature enabled on my P53 or the X1 Yoga, but I know it's now on because I just updated them today, Friday the 14th, at work before I came home, because I was like, oh, you know, that's right, I got them on there, so I need to do it. I still need to install it on my Plex Media Server VM, because I have a graphics card. I bought a P620? Yeah, P620, Quadro P620, which is great because it passed right through Proxmox right to it. Eventually, at some point, I do want to buy a P2000. The problem is, yeah, that thing's expensive, and that's quite a few year old card. The nice thing I like about my which I wish I could get a key to try it out, because I would really like to compare the performance of this P51 with the M2200 graphics chipset. I want to compare it to the P53 with the T2000 Quadro graphics chipset. I would love to see the speed difference. Like, do a test on the free, update it to the Fusion, and then run the test and see, you know, same video clip here, same on that one, you know, same edit, same everything, and just see what the performance difference is, because this has more memory than the other. I don't use, I think it's Fusion that you have to have at least 32 gigs of RAM. I'm not into Fusion just yet. So, I mean, I only have more memory just so that DaVinci Resolve runs better. That way it doesn't have to, you know, work in a confined space, because I only had 16 gigs in this. And this little monster uses ECC memory. It's unbuffered, but it's ECC, and luckily I found some compatible. I think it's this Nuix, something like that. It's really weird. Really weird name. Yeah. Numix RAM. That's what this stuff is. And that's what I bought. This might actually even be the right stuff for it right there, because it looks... it went up $2. I paid 95 bucks a stick. If this is the same, I'm not going to worry about if it is or not. That'll be something for whenever I'm ready to buy it. But that's what's in it right now. 32 gigs of that RAM, because I bought 2 sticks of those. Just to increase, like I said, just to increase it, because if I ever start to work with Fusion, I know with 48 gigs of RAM, I have enough memory for it to work without a problem. Before with 16, yeah, there was no way that was going to work. So that's why I bought that. But yeah, like I said, that was the biggest thing for me. It also has now Fusion template bundles, and that's actually pretty good for once I start doing Fusion and color correction, because like I said, I'm still kind of new at all this. I want to try to start doing it, and at some point I am going to like just take a test clip, work with it in Fusion, work with it in the color correction, and just see what I can do with it. But if you, and I, for anybody out there, that whether they're editing home movies for themselves, they're editing YouTube videos, I mean, if you're used to Fusion Pro, I'm not saying that this is perfect for everybody. I'm just saying that you should try it out at least. Try the free version. It doesn't cost you anything. Download it. Like I said, it's going to be more CPU intensive because of the fact that it's the free version. And then if you like it, you switch to it, then you can, it's only like $2.95. Or if you buy the speed editor for $2.95, it comes free with it. And you get the card and you can install it on up to 2 machines. So I've got it on this, and it's going to go on the VM. So that way, like I said, if I start really starting to do things, I can then move it to a storage, which I need to build. I could probably do it on that there to a degree. Just depends. And have it work with that, which would, again, free this machine up, and that way it's not doing it. I can do all the editing here and then send it over there and let it render, and I could be working on a different, maybe video or something different or something like that, and then that way it frees up the, this machine to go back to editing while it's rendering over there. Still need to figure out how to set that all up. Haven't exactly set it up yet, just because, like, with the whole redoing of the room and everything, it kind of you know, kind of got away. So that's the new DaVinci Resolve 17.2 update. Like I said, as far as most of everything else, I'm sure some of it will play a fact in the way I do my video editing workflows and stuff. Like I said, the biggest thing was just the MKV clips, that I can actually use MKVs now instead of MP4s. Time will tell, like I said, how well I do on everything, because, you know, again, I'm new at a lot. The only thing I'm not really new is the IT side of things. I'm still kind of new on the whole miniature painting thing, even though I've been doing it for... got into it because I want to say Imperial Assault, which a friend of mine got me hooked on it. Damn him. I think it came out in 2014. No, it was released. It came back in stock December of 2014, if my memory serves me correctly. But anyways, and I started picking up the stuff in 2015 to paint. I was going to Michael's and picking up all kinds of stuff. If I'm wrong, my wife can definitely let me know, and I'll even correct it in the description. That's how I got started in miniature painting, and it's been downhill ever since. lot of gray to do. I'm sure there's a lot of painters, if there's any painters that follow this channel, can attest they have a lot of gray. I'm still kind of new, even though I've been doing it for like 6 years now. Yeah, because if I started in 2015, it's now 20. Yeah, it's for 6 years. My math in my head's, I mean, if I'm staring at numbers, I can do it. Like if I'm staring at a package and I can figure out the sales tax. But if I try to remember like dates and they're not in front of me, like a calendar or something like that, yeah, I'm kind of, you know. But anyways, but yeah, that's 17.2. I highly recommend it. Definitely start out with the free. The free is the best thing you could ever do. Doesn't cost you anything. It's pretty powerful. You have a lot of powerful options in the free. The only thing is it takes longer to render than it would if you had the full version. But I'm not telling people to spend $300. But the only good side to spending $300 is you get all the updates. There's no limit. It's not like, oh, well, here's 18 and you need to pay another $300 to get that version because, you know, that's the way we're doing things. No, they're not doing that. It's, you know, you pay for it, that's it, you're done. They have two versions of it. They have to unlock the full version, you can get I want to say it's a USB dongle, or you can get the code. The code, you can put it on 2 machines. The dongle, you could install DaVinci Resolve Studio on every machine you have. The only thing is that dongle has to be plugged into the machine for it to work. That's fine if you're like doing stuff at home, you're sending your files to Dropbox, or if your company has an online storage and you work on stuff at home and then you go to work and you finish it and you can pop the dongle into the work machine and then you can just pick up where you left off. And that's great. But for me, like I said, the way I'm going to do it is render server over there on the 420, move the files from here to there after editing, and let it run it. And like I said, if I can make a script to where it monitors where I drop it, and then it starts rendering and it outputs the render to this folder, then that way I know where to pick it up. We'll see if that happens. Like I said, I have to research it and everything, but I still have to install it yet, and I just haven't done it yet. Okay, and I've rambled on for about a half an hour now. But anyways, definitely try it out. And as I always like to say, guys, have a good day. Take care.